Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is your hostess and friendly neighborhood mama bird, MK Wizard, though you may call me Mary. Spring is clearly on its way, and that makes me very happy because I'm looking very much forward to doing my gardening and no longer needing to wear 5 layers of clothes every time I come outside. And speaking of hearts and flowers, I wanted to talk today about love interests in storytelling. Specifically, how we were all wrong about love interests. You see, over the years, especially with the feminist movement, we've been having a lot of mixed opinions when it comes to love interests, especially when they're female and they are not supers themselves. Though sometimes they are, though in the majority of the time, especially when the main protagonist was a man, the love interest was in fact just a normal average woman, and usually was also the damsel in distress. Though looking back on it and really analyzing a lot of these love interest characters, I've come to realize that this was not entirely true. And this was, in fact, a very big misjudgment. And I want to talk about it in three ways. Though before I get into that, I want to make it very clear that I'm a feminist myself by default because I'm a woman. And I'm all for love interests not being reduced to a trophy to be won or reducing love itself to a currency. I think that that was a good thing that we stopped doing that for both men and women. I think that love should be deep and meaningful, and sometimes you just have to accept with grace that she or he, they are just not into you. And they are not obliged to make out with you just because you saved them. That's wrong. I mean, it's wrong for many reasons, but, anyways, I just wanted to clear the air with that. So let's get into the 3 points about how important the love interest is to storytelling and how we were all wrong about it. Number one, it's the claim that there's a huge power imbalance between the hero and their love interest, when in fact that's really not true. Maybe at one time it was, and for a few cases it was, but overall it's not a power imbalance, at least not in the way we think it is. First of all, like let's just say you're looking at Superman here. It's Superman's story. Obviously, he's going to be the center of attention in his own story, and he should be because that's exactly how it works. It's not the name of the comic is not Lois Lane, or Superman and Lois. It's just simply called Superman. Lois Lane is at the end of the day a side character. However, as we know, even side characters, regardless of their role, can play a big impact on the story. And in the case of Lois Lane, she is the most important of the side characters because she does, in fact, hold just as much power in the story as Superman does. Yes, he's the center of attention and most of the action is on him. But when Lois Lane is around, she's not just there to be saved or there to be the eye candy or be the person Superman kisses. She is a well rounded out character. She's strong. She has a job. She has life goals. She has a backstory of her own to tell that impacts the story of Superman. And as you can tell by my fan drawing here, my fan version of Alita 1, you have characters like Alita 1 who are also technically their role is love interest. But on the other hand, that's not all she was in the story. She was the wife of Optimus Prime in the Transformers, and though she only appeared in one episode in G1, you really got to know her a lot. She was, she is, not was, is a capable leader. She's wise. She rules with a lot of kindness, and her style of being is very parental, the way Optimus is. She doesn't scream, she doesn't shout, she doesn't use aggression, though in Skybound recently she does. But we're going to talk about G1 and the definitive version of Alita 1. Overall, she is also very powerful because one of her secret abilities is the ability to stop time. She may not be a muscle woman, but she's powerful, and it's also hinted that she has a few magic powers. Well, not hinted, she does have a few magic powers, one of them being like time freezing and other things. She is Optimus Prime's love interest, but she is also so much more than that. She's an equal partner to him. She rules Cybertron with him, and right now is in charge of the rebel group on Cybertron. And during the episode where she's introduced and the only one she appears in, Optimus does go and save her, but ultimately he winds up getting captured too, of which Alita saves him using her special ability. And it should be noted that when she does use the ability to freeze time, it drains her of all her energy and she could die. So the fact that she was willing to do that for her husband after he came to Cybertron to potentially die for her, it speaks volumes about the relationship and also about their love for each other. It's not a power imbalance like what you think it is. They are equal partners. They love each other just as much. They save each other and they protect each other. And it's not the only case. There are so many cases, even as early in the 80s and even other ones, where in TV shows, love interests, in fact, could pull their own weight and did all the saving. Another good example is, that brings me to point two, how important the love interest is as a partner and a supportive partner to the hero. Like, to anyone who has seen Sailor Moon, we all know how loving and how iconic the romance between Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask is. And Tuxedo Mask is nowhere near powerful as Sailor Moon. Yet her being in him being in her life, he's if it was not for him being in her life, I don't think she'd have the support that she'd had, or the confidence she had, or the levity she had in her life, which is a very necessary thing because heroes at the end of the day are human. Heroes need someone to turn to and talk to. They have needs. They are not invincible emotionally, at least. They cry, they have doubts, they get hurt, they go into depression, they panic, they have anxiety. So that is where the love interest also plays an important role. In a way, the love interest in this respect is the hero's hero. They are the person they can be vulnerable around. They are the person who can be there to rescue them, even if only emotionally. And that makes a big difference. Like, even Superman gets this from Lois Lane. In the case of Sailor Moon, how many times, in fact, almost every time Sailor Moon is facing the worst part of the battle, all a Tuxedo Mask has to do is step in and say, I'm here for you, babe. You can do this. And just that little gesture gives her a total recharge and the confidence to keep going. And that seems on paper like a small gesture. But when you see it and also observe it, like in my case, in my adult life, where I have a husband, where just a few words of support or just a gesture of coming in to check on me as I'm drawing and he sees I'm stressed and he's just like, hey, would you like to watch a show with me? Would you like to step out and take a walk with me? Or him just telling me what you're making is really great, keep it up. All these little gestures have big impacts. And that is why the love interest, in fact, is very important to the story and important to the hero. Because where would the hero be if it was not for that kind of support, that kind of love, that kind of strength embodied in the form of someone who loves you unconditionally and is always there for you? Like, where would that hero be? And now it brings me to the third point, which is where the love interest can also be in many ways both a hero and an antagonist to the main character, or one or the other. The best example of this is Catwoman to Batman. Catwoman and Batman's romance is controversial and very mixed. It can be interpreted as being romantic or toxic depending on the situation. In which case, Batman sometimes saved Catwoman not just literally like from danger, but also saved her from herself and motivated her to be a better person. But in some cases, it had the opposite effect. Catwoman was the one saving Batman, or sometimes distracted him, or drove him to do things that were not very nice, all because they loved each other. So there is a case where the love interest can be a true reflection or a peek inside the hero's head and what they're struggling with internally. The love interest could either represent the fact that the hero, what they want out of life, or what they're struggling with in life internally. In the case of Batman, let's face it, his life is entirely a struggle of which he wants to find. He's caught between wanting to find joy in life, but also wanting to honor his promise to his late parents to make Gotham a safer place. Catwoman is most definitely a very good representation of how he feels. It's also a reminder that Batman is not as perfect as we all think he is. In order for him to fall for someone like Catwoman, who is on the opposite side of the law, and sometimes Jason just breaks the law because, well, she can and she thinks it's fun at the time, it speaks volumes about Batman that he's not, he may be a knight, a dark knight, that is, but he's no saint. He has his indulgences too. And yeah, that's the thing. That's why we're all wrong about love interests. They are not unnecessary or outdated or just kind of there, in which case the characters aren't even fleshed out. Like, obviously, all these characters I listed, even Tuxedo Mask, they are characters first and love interest after. Yes, being a love interest is part of who they are, it's how they were introduced, and it's what they will always be. But that does not take away from their character. If anything, when you stop and look at it, it actually, in fact, is a sign that they have more power in the story than we give them credit for. I mean, they can either be the person who, be the pedestal that lifts the hero up, or be the one, the finger the hero is wrapped tightly around, or both. It all depends on who the hero chooses to love and what they go for and what that love interest is doing for them. Are they are they the hero to the hero? Are they the villain? Are they, or are they a bit of both? Anyways, that's all I wanted to say today, and I hope you found it insightful. And it's also why I admit I also did this video, because I think romance and love interests need to make a comeback in storytelling. We love seeing romance, but also we love seeing the complexities that come with it and the complexity that the love interest brings to the table in the hero's life. They are not simply a damsel in distress to be saved, and even when they are, is it really such a bad thing to see a hero being there for the one they love? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? I mean, protect the people they love. So of course they're going to protect the person they love most in the world. That's really not anti-feminist or anti-woman or showing any character having power over the other. That's just a loving person saving the person they love. That's all it is. It's nothing controversial. It's nothing to erase, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, even in real life, we turn to the people we love for help all the time. But I digress. The point is, this is what I wanted to say, and I hope I've given you some food for thought, and maybe even changed your mind about the love interest, because love interests and love in storytelling is really, really great. And I'd like to see more of it rather than for it to always be put on the back burner or maybe just something covered up. Because really, that's not what we want. We are all here as fans asking, where's the love? Bring it back. Anyways, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. If you wish to support my channel and everything I do, please subscribe. And also do check out my link tree on my profile page to see my webcomics and all my other work that I do. Hope to see you in the next one. Also, if you wish to become a Ko-fi member of mine or a one-off Ko-fi donor, or even commission me for work, you need only to follow the link to my Ko-fi page, which again you can find in my Linktree link. Anyway, goodbye for now. It was very nice talking to you all. Love you all. Bye.